FASD stands for fetal alcohol spectrum disorder. That's a brain-based neurodevelopmental disorder. I was blindsided by FASD, to be honest, and so it kind of turned my world upside down. That's how I'm personally affected. It's in my family. Now that I've started to learn about it and get involved in some type of advocacy, I see it. This teenage girl was on the streets. This couple would drive to the crossroads where they knew she was staying weekly, just in case she looked in their direction and said, there's mom and dad, I have a need. And they did that for years, not even knowing, what the problem was. I don't know if I hope that I would have it in me to continue on like they did for so many years. The heavy issues will keep you up at night. People are unknowingly living with FASD because it's really hard to detect, and there's not a lot out there about it. I didn't know the first thing about it. I'd never heard of FASD until I was exposed to it, firsthand. 80% of them are misdiagnosed or undiagnosed. So you have a massive contingent of people with significant a significant disability that don't even know it, don't know the root, the cause. Their supports don't know it, teachers don't know it, parents don't know it. There's a horrible lack of awareness. It's creating significant issues, huge impacts on society, and as we refer to it in the FASD community, is a hidden epidemic. Millions of people have an FASD, and millions of people don't even know it. You can't see into the brain and see where one of a billion different connections didn't develop and has then thrown off the entire system. So I got really frustrated. It seems like nothing is gonna move the needle here. I almost felt like it was, beyond me. And anyone who's trying to affect change or trying to help, I'm sure feels that at times. But eventually it occurred to me, it was like a light bulb went off. We do have somewhat of a platform or an agent for change. When I thought about going to him about our firm getting involved, I did so with some trepidation, because I know him well. I know him from growing up, and I know he's a great guy, and I had been working with him. But this is not the typical ask. This is not the typical topic of conversation between partners at a law firm.
And I remember Spencer coming to me, and he closed my door. And typically when the door gets closed, we're talking business or we're talking something sensitive. Anything you'd like us to do to help, I think we need to do it. That's one of the things that our dads have always taught us, is that this firm is a mechanism to effectuate good change. We're family, and we need to kind of look out for each other within the firm, but also work with the firm to maybe help and influence where we might have an opportunity outside the firm. And so he came to me and discussed this just epidemic of FASD and how it's underfunded, appreciated, even the magnitude of it. And I think most people just aren't aware, but there's enough information out there that shame on us if we don't do something about it. Our dads would say it's our obligation. For a family like ours, a big family with a very strong set of grandparents who lived here in the community and kind of instilled in all of us the need to kind of do more, be more.
Those principles that Granddaddy stood for are the foundation of our firm. He instilled those same values and principles in his sons, my dad and Ryan's dad, and it permeates our firm. So he's he's definitely a central figure in our family, and I think a lot of our employees know that. they knew him, or they at least knew what he was all about. And if they didn't know him, they know who we are as a firm, and that's Granddaddy.
You know, we could hear Granddaddy practically saying, this is the right thing to do. This is what family does. Family supports each other, and family works within the community to see if they can make a difference. To be silent, to say nothing, to do nothing is just antithetical to anything that the firm stands for, anything that our family has standed for.
I think there's a really unfortunate stigma that mothers live with in the event their child has FASD. Of course, no woman wants to hurt her baby. They're misled, or they're given bad advice. And that kind of takes me to the whole thing about doctors. I often hear people say that their doctor said it's okay to have a drink or two while you're pregnant. And now that I know more about it, I mean, that makes me want to scream. It takes one Google search, and you can find any number of credible sources saying consistently there's no proven safe amount of alcohol that can be consumed during pregnancy. So, somebody explain to me then why doctors say it's okay to have a drink or two. If a doctor says it's okay to have one or two drinks, is that a malpractice? I do know that the only way to figure that out is to talk to people, to hear their stories, to have a discussion, and find out, is this really happening? And even if it's not a malpractice, I think the discussion could be very helpful. It could potentially help doctors at least explain it to me and to others who don't understand why they would say that, or potentially rethink what they're saying. My wife and I were at a fundraiser several months ago, and there were hors d'oeuvres and drinks, and there was a pregnant woman, clearly pregnant, sipping on a glass of champagne. That's worse than sticking a needle in your arm, as I understand it. And if we were at that event, how would people react if they walked in and they saw a pregnant woman and her spouse with a needle in her arm? Florida does have an FASD clinic. There's a 9-month wait right now if you want to get into that clinic. And it's because there's a lack of funding. We went to work and we got it, but it got vetoed by the governor just recently. And I kind of get it. I mean, we're in COVID. There's a lot of uncertainty, but that's not going to stop us. I mean, we will be right back the next time we have a chance to try and secure more funding, because I think there should be a clinic in every county. FASD is 2.5, 3 times more common. Okay, so autism 1 in 60, FASD 1 in 20. Autism, 367 million a year of funding. FASD, 20. 15 to 25 million. I read different reports. So there's a, in my view, a horrible discrepancy there. There was a study of a penitentiary system that found it was somewhere between 70 and 80% of the inmates had an FASD. I mean, think of the toll this is taking on society. Things have to change. As I understand, there is currently a proposed legislation that Amy Klobuchar is behind to increase FASD funding and awareness, and I'm going to try and speak to her. My hope is that any one of those specific ideas will really strike a chord with someone who's interested in getting involved in a significant way. I'm here to say, I'm with you, and my law firm's with you. My commitment to FASD is lifelong. That's easy. I'll go to my grave. I'm always going to be committed to trying to help. Thank you for watching our film. If you want to join the discussion, send us a message at the email below. We'd be happy to talk to you. We look forward to hearing from you.